Welcome to our channel. In this video, we are going to talk about the top Caribbean islands to visit and where and why. So before starting, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for future updates. The Caribbean has long been a treasure trove of things to do and see, from the alabaster white beaches of Bermuda in the north to the cactus-topped desert inland of the ABC Islands in the south, the windswept coves and surfing reefs of Dominica in the east to the jungle-dressed tips of Cuba and the Antilles in the west. It has something for everyone, combining adventure with relaxation, hundreds of years of colonial history with captivating Arawak culture, West Indian spices with European gastronomic flair, honeymooners with hill walkers, affordable backpacker haunts with some of the world's most luxurious hotels. It has everything from Cuban cigarillos to volcanoes spewing magma, not to mention many airbrushed beaches of perfect sand and beautiful turquoise water. We'll meet up in the rum bars. Take a look at our recommendations for the greatest Caribbean islands to visit. Number 10. The Bahamas. Spread out over a whopping 470,000 square kilometers of ocean between where the beaches of northern Cuba give way to the Lucayan Isles, the Bahamas connect the Caribbean with the coastal reaches of the United States, and more specifically, the Sunshine State of Florida. Since the late 18th century, these glistening cays and sandbars have been joined with the Commonwealth. The British made a colony here after ousting bands of buccaneers and pirates from the shores, leaving the elegant neoclassic looks of the Bahamian Parliament and the juggernaut walls of Fort Charlotte in their wake. Number 9. Grenada. Grenada is known as the Spice Isle, with nutmeg and vanilla pods, as well as aromatic cinnamon wafts, twisting and turning in the steamy Carib air and floating down on trade winds to the picturesque bays of Grand Anse and the gleaming white sands of Morne Rouge Beach. The island, which is volcanic in origin, spikes, and dips with Mount St. Catherine's cones and Grand Etang's grass-rimmed crater lakes. Waterfalls pour and shape the sceneries as well, rushing over the cliffs at Royal Mount Carmel and flowing in moss-covered stairs at the Seven Sisters, which are only accessible by twisting mountain trails. Oh, and don't forget about the human side of things. Goyave's lively local fish fries. The River Antoine Brewing House, which is home to some of the world's oldest rum brands. Number 8. Dominican Republic. The Dominican Republic has plenty of tricks up its sleeve, from the swaying palms and rugged cliffs of Los Haitises in the east to the old mineshafts and dusty trailheads of the Sierra de Bajoruco in the west, the surfing hotspots of Cabaret and Puerto Plata in the north to the urban sprawl of Santo Domingo and its concomitant colonial treasures in the south. Punta Cana, where strips of white sand run along the windward coast like sparkling ribbons in the moonlight, broken only by the occasional luxury resort, its infinity pools butting up against the Atlantic's rollers, is the pièce de résistance for most. Others will head for Sabao's lovely coast, stopping in fishing communities and salt-washed cays. Others will be more daring, seeking out the Enriquillo Valley's ridges and treks, as well as the indelibly green Armando Bermudez. It's entirely up to you. Number 7. Aruba. Cacti-topped Aruba and its Latin American neighbors have a lot in common. After all, this gem-shaped island in the region's far southern reaches is closer to the mainland than many of the Caribbean's other salt-washed islands. Let's start with the weather, which has remained exceptionally consistent and warm despite the hurricanes and cyclones that have swept across the Atlantic belt. The 300 days of sunshine and calm beach seas attract a continuous stream of snowbirds from the United States, who can be found lounging on the sands of Baby Beach in the south, the windswept rocks of Hadikurari, shadowed Arashi, or the reef-ringed shores of Boca Catalina all year. Then there's Aruba's dry, desert-like interior, dominated by Haystack Mountain's lookouts, and the island's peculiar Papiamento tongue, which combines Spanish, Dutch, Creole, and Portuguese. Number 6. U.S. Virgin Islands. The U.S. Virgin Islands aren't your typical Caribbean getaway. That's not to say they don't have the same glistening sands and azure oceans as everyone else. That is to say, they have other plans in the works. The trio of St. Croix, St. John, and St. Thomas, as well as innumerable specks of rocky land such as Water Island, Thatch Cay, and Hassel Island, are a yachter's paradise, with a variety of little coves and cliff-backed inlets to explore by boat. Then there's Salt River Bay, a lush swath of mangrove woods that spills into the sapphire blue of Buck Island Reef's underwater corals. Also, 10 to the penny are rum distilleries, while lovely remains of Danish rule still tower above the palm trees and ferns. This is, without a doubt, a superb pick. Number 5. Antigua and Barbuda. Antigua and Barbuda, separated by a narrow strip of sky-blue Caribbean Sea in the middle of the Leeward Islands, are one of the region's most well-rounded tourist destinations. There are cricket pitches and bobbing cruise ships on the horizon in St. John's Parish, the archipelago's modest and close-knit capital, while the slap and click of casino chips are never far away. Most visitors will climb to Shirley Heights Lookout for the best view of the rest of Antigua, the larger of the two islands, where the pearly white beaches, the deep green palm forests, and the occasional bloom of bougainvillea spread out to reveal Falmouth and English Harbour, two of the earliest colonial towns here. Number 4. Cuba. Cuba has been an off-the-beaten-path option for Caribbean vacationers due to its turbulent past and political proclivity towards communism until recently. The most recent news is the relaxation of travel and import restrictions from the United States, both of which are expected to attract swarms of new visitors to the so-called Pearl of the Antilles. Cadillacs rumble through the streets, and peeling stuccoed frontispieces from 1925 give way to the off-beats of samba, rumba, and songo. Cigar smoke billows from speakeasies and the sun-drenched Malecon is strutted by all. Leaving the Che monuments and Spanish streets behind, the greater island offers picture-perfect beaches in Varadero, ecotourism in the karst mountains of Pinar del Rio, and spectacular landscapes in the Viales Valley, to name a few. Number 3. Saint Lucia. Saint Lucia is like a rebellious child who refuses to follow the rules. Rather than sinking to be overtaken by mangrove and palms, it grew and rose, peaking with the huge pitons or rising to a magnificent 950 meters with the jungle-dressed Mount Gimi at its center. Then there are the gushing volcanic springs and mud pools that are constantly sculpting and reshaping the island's interior surrounding Soufriere. Travelers will find the beautiful cove of Anse Chastanet, tucked amid cliffs and promontories and clusters of coastal waterfalls, in the small town of Soufriere on the south coast. Number 2. Turks and Caicos. If you're looking for beaches, and let's face it, who in the Caribbean isn't? Turks and Caicos might be the place to go. Many of the TCI, as it's known for short, are little more than sandbanks or craggy pillars of rock that rise above the seas of the Caribbean Sea, which are peppered throughout the Lucayan archipelago. Cockburn Town's salt-washed jetties may be the capital, but it's the laid-back providenciales that draw the people. It's also where the island's deep-fried conch clams are made. Further out, the TIC provides ultra-romantic honeymoon suites on their private island, as well as beaches like Malcolm Beach and the glistening azure currents of Chalk Sound. Number 1. Jamaica. Start on the north shore of Jamaica, where powdery white sands stretch from the ivory stretches of 7 Mile Beach, past the sheer-cut Negril Cliffs, through the luxury Uber resorts of Montego Bay, around the gushing Duns River Falls, and out to where famous James Bond Beach gives way to the jungles of Ocho Rios in plumes of swaying coconut palms, juniper bushes, mangrove, and tamarind. The huge blue mountains rise in verdant swaths of the jungle to the east, with Jamaican boas dangling from vines and the aromas of coffee beans drifting through the foliage. Then, in the inland highlands, travelers can search for the famed Bob Marley's birthplace at 9 Mile, or simply flit between Kingston's rum bars, listening to the master and his steel drum, Rasta off beats. Meanwhile, Mobay buzzes with nightlife and the aromas of jerk chicken, while honeymooners lounge on oceanfront decks sipping Red Stripe as the sun sets. So that's it for today. What do you think of our video? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video and would like to hear more from us, please subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications before you go. Thank you so much for watching us.